Hello loves and welcome back to the OkaniLuna YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about Pluto moving into Aquarius. Okay, we have to talk about this because this is a pretty long transit. There are going to be retrogrades that will make Pluto come back into Capricorn for a little bit. We're going to talk about that. But we have to talk about Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto, mind you, it goes into Aquarius March 23rd. So when it comes to Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto is the planet of death, transformation, the occult, what's hidden, the truth, rebirth, destruction. It is a planet of a lot of transformative change on a soul level. Pluto seeks to transform us on a deep soul level. It's not like love and light. It's not like soft and gentle. It is ripping a band-aid. So Pluto is definitely a very intense planet, and the transit lasts pretty much about 20 years, which is a very long time, right? For Pluto to be in Aquarius. It's definitely going to be a really big transformative change, especially because Aquarius is the sign that rules over the collective, technology, social media, society, friendships. It really highlights a lot of the, a lot of the, collective consciousness and awareness that we have, the things that we personally are trying to also collectively come together, the ideals that we believe in, the things that are right or wrong. Like, for example, this whole thing with TikTok getting quote unquote possibly banned. The last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, there was like multiple revolutions that happened during this time. So it's not like this is not a big deal. This is a pretty big deal. Pluto and Aquarius, because Aquarius is co-ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of revolution and unexpected change and chaos and upgrades, like a societal upgrade. This Pluto and Aquarius transit is going to serve as a societal upgrade. It's really going to trigger not only millennials but Gen Z. There might be a whole entire flip on the system. And when it comes to holding people accountable, how we're taking care of society, like, for example, the stuff in our food, the stuff, how we're taking care of the planet, how things are being harmed. There might be different uprisings in certain areas as well, in different parts of the world. Chaos will definitely happen in different places, and the way it's happening is purification by fire. Purification by fire, purification with action. Okay. Purification through words. There's a lot of, and I think this is honestly why the government is trying to ban TikTok, because of how we're connecting with social media, how we're using that to inform ourselves, to educate ourselves, to better ourselves, especially with the way that they would like us to be educated versus the way that we are being educated, the way that we are seeking information. So it's more about, the collective understanding and how we are in a state of learning and working together as a society to be a collective society. So there's a lot going on there. There's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be, there's a need for balance. There's going to be a need for healing always, especially with Pluto energies. During this time period, there's also going to be a lot of a focus on how your own individuality, your role in society, what your purpose is. Keep in mind that Aquarius also, highlights your own destiny, your journey that you are in, right? So it's going to definitely highlight the things that are in the way that needs to be completely, go into this destruction mode so that you can actually fulfill that destiny, fulfill your goals, your dreams, and do what you need to do as well. Because Pluto is a generational planet, it highlights how, the generation is impacted, how we're impacting society as well. Now, millennials and Gen Z have been blamed for done everything, right? But the thing is that at this point, boomers are getting old, y'all. We're just gonna be blunt. Boomers are getting older, and there are certain things, especially when it comes to politics and stuff like that, that they've been trying to pass down to us that it's just like we don't care about. We're not about to do. We're not about to ride that way. There's a reason why France is like in a whole entire protest right now, because they're trying to raise the retirement age, so people like end up working more, and they're not having it right now. There's a lot of like of that kind of government focused energy, and that only expands itself through Aquarius energy as well, because while Capricorn energy, especially with Pluto being in Capricorn, through this past time, there's been a lot of changes. Within the government, there's been a lot of awareness about stuff that the government's doing, stuff that the government's not doing, how the government is not taking care of us, right? And then Aquarius brings in, and it's like, okay, we have some awareness, and now we're fighting for our rights, and now we are going to shift the focus, and now we need to like go into a whole revolution, because this is not working anymore. So it is a purification by fire. It is a purification through change and collective consciousness. It is a purification through unity. This is a very, very powerful time. The way that Pluto in Aquarius will influence you personally, make sure you're looking at your, where Aquarius falls, in your chart. Also where Pluto is in your chart. You want to know both. Because it's going to definitely be where the energy is sitting for you and how you're personally taking it as an individual. But keep in mind that how it impacts you as an individual will also lend itself to how you partake within society and the collective. Now, because Aquarius also rules technology and social media, there's going to be an amplifying kind of focus of giving information and retaining information socially. You might actually get more into some online groups. And if there is another pandemic kind of thing that happens again throughout this 20-year period, which, believe it or not, is very possible, technology is going to be a way, and one of the ways that things, evolve. This is also a time where, because it's a highlight of technology and how technology helps to transform our collective consciousness and our generations, it is a time where technology might move a lot faster than you think, especially moving into like 20 years from now, where we'll be technology wise, we'll be in a completely different space. So also keep in mind of the things that are being worked on, and how the planet is also being harmed by our collective presence by using technology, because that's also when it comes to resources and getting resources, there's good and bad ways of doing it. And so you have to also be mindful of that. It's important to make sure that you're aware of how the energy is going to impact you. So again, make sure you know where it's going to fall for you. And it's important to understand on a personal level how you'll be going through this very deep transformation, and how within you going through these transformations, you're also, contributing to society in that way. If you're not, paying attention, you might not really understand the shift. And it's an important shift, because Pluto, because it's one of the planets that moves the slowest. 20 years, y'all, 20 whole years. Because it's one of the planets that moves the slowest. Like as much as everybody wants to shit on Saturn, like, let's be real, 20 years or 3 years of Saturn. Be fucking for real right now. Be for real. That's a whole completely different ball game and ballpark. Pluto takes a longer time to help you like go through that rebirth process. And it can feel very chaotic, and it can also feel like it takes a lot of years to get to that point as well. So you have to be very, very, very mindful. And you also have to be very gentle with yourself. Make sure your self-care practice and your self-love practice is also on point. Your individuality, your style, your purpose, you might feel like you are going to kind of do certain things differently, and your approach to certain things might have to change based on what's going on collectively, which again, that usually happens during this time. Be very, 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 very gentle with yourself, gentle with your energy, especially if throughout this period revolutions start that are very very big or significant, or like, you know, are in your area and stuff like that, especially if it's in like one of the towns that one of the things I've talked about in one of the lives before is how I feel like there are sacrifice states where the government doesn't really care about and just leads, if something happens like this whole train situation, they'll just kind of leave them to rot and they won't really address it. Or like the water in where was it? It was like during the voting, when the voting for the election cycle was happening, and the whole water thing in that state. What was the state? Oh my god, was it Ohio? I don't think it was Ohio. I think it was a different state. It was a town specifically that the whole water, like, it's basically poison, and they still haven't fixed that. So yeah, last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we had the Haitian Revolution, we had the French Revolution, we had a lot of revolutions. It was a 20-year period. There was also the American Revolution. There was a lot of revolutions, y'all. This is not a joke. This is not a game. There is a lot that happens during this time because it amplifies that energy of Aquarius and that energy of, no, I'm not going to do it your way. I'm going to do it my way. Your way is not working anymore. We got to do things differently. So this is going to be a time where literally millennials and Gen Z might literally just get sick and tired of what it is and just rip the Band-Aid and be like, nah, we're not doing that no more. Nah, we're not paying taxes. Nah, we're not doing this. Nah, I don't care anymore. No, we're not doing that. And then it literally just turns everybody on their head. And it could be like in a way that is a trend. Because you got to keep in mind with the way that Aquarius works and in technology, like if you look at trends and things that happen, things that go viral, then everybody starts repeating that same thing. If everybody starts a trend that like we just stop paying taxes or stop doing something that literally impacts the government in a really major way, they're gonna be shitting their pants. I'm just saying. Anyway, so there's definitely going to be, again, a lot of technology that arises through that. There's going to be a lot of different changes and shifts. This is also a really important time to work with your crown. Make sure you're doing meditation work. It's going to help you understand the shifts and kind of calibrate yourself, because a lot, when the collective energies are in a flux, it kind of makes things a little bit chaotic, and then you're kind of trying to, you know, shift and understand and kind of still ground yourself. So make sure your meditation practice throughout these 20 years is good, because you're going to need it just to help ground you. Now, Pluto will be in Aquarius from March 23rd all the way till June 11th. And then because of the retrograde, it will go back into Capricorn. This is going to happen a couple times. So it's going to go back into Capricorn until January 2022 of 2024. So it'll be in Capricorn again, and then it will go back into Aquarius, only to come back into Capricorn. So it will basically, after September, like September 1st, it will go back into Capricorn, and then it won't go back into Aquarius until November 20th, 2024. And again, that's because of the Jupiter retrogrades. So these retrogrades kind of, when they're making the planet go backwards, that it moves, especially at a very early point, like at a very early period. And you have to also understand the generational planet retrogrades, they go on retrograde, like their retrogrades last a lot longer than, you know, Mercury, Venus. So that during that retrograde period, if a planet is moving from sign to sign and is still at that 0-1 degree, and it goes into retrograde, it has enough time to go back into the previous sign. So that's basically what's going to be happening. So again, it's 20-year period, but there's going to be like this tipping into Capricorn, tipping back into Aquarius, tipping into Capricorn, tipping back into Aquarius kind of period. So just, you know, make sure you understand that, but just make sure you also, you know, again, like I said for the millionth time, go see where in your chart you have Aquarius, because that's where it's going to be impacting you as well. With that being said, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and marvelous next 20 years. We will be here together, growing and thriving and doing the thing, and healing and doing what we need to do, as always and forever. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the love and support. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you in the next video.